Hey, Go Natural English! Thanks for tuning in. Today, we're diving into how to handle questions during a presentation. When you're presenting, you typically start with an introduction, and that's the perfect time to let your audience know whether you'd prefer them to hold their questions until the end. However, if you have an engaged audience, they might ask questions mid-presentation, which is actually a good sign. An active audience means they're paying attention and interested in what you're saying. On the other hand, if your audience is completely silent, they might not be fully engaged. So, what do you do if someone asks a question in the middle of your presentation? There are a few ways to handle it, but let's focus on deferring the question for later. To do this effectively, follow these steps. First, acknowledge the question and show that you value it. It's important to make the person asking feel heard and appreciated. Start by saying something like, "That's a great question," or "That's really interesting." Make sure your tone sounds genuine and enthusiastic. Second, defer the question by explaining why you'll address it later. You can use phrases like, "but," "however," or "unfortunately," followed by a reason. For example, "That's a great question, but because of limited time, let's discuss it later." "That's interesting, however, I'll cover that at the end of the presentation." "Thank you for asking, but unfortunately, I'll need to address that later." Third, redirect the question to a specific time. You can say, "Let's talk about that later." "I'll answer that at the end of the presentation." "I'll address that in a few minutes." So, here's the 3-step formula for deferring questions. Acknowledge and praise the question. E.g., "Great question." Politely defer it with a reason. E.g., "But because of time, let's discuss it later." Redirect to a specific time. E.g., "I'll answer that at the end." This approach keeps your presentation on track while ensuring your audience feels valued. I hope these tips help you handle questions like a pro. For more presentation advice, check out Go Natural English on YouTube and visit gonaturalenglish.com. See you next time.